Hey guys, how you all doing? You are here with Sam, and today I'm bringing you my first thoughts of the Battlefield 4 Open Beta, which launched today. Now obviously there's been a lot of hype for this, people getting really excited, and the question was, could this really live up to the expectation? And holy shit, this really has. It's absolutely insane. I mean, I've not had this much fun since I first played Battlefield 3 probably, and it's way surpassed all the expectations I had for it. I'm just going to bring you a brief overview of what I first thought of it, what my first impressions were, what features I think are really good about it and things like that. So obviously you will know the details by now. We've got one map, which is Siege of Shanghai, 2 game modes, Conquest and Domination. Now my first thought when I played Conquest was I dropped into a 32-man server. On Battlefield 3 you could join a 32-man server of Conquest and still feel like the battle was quite intense and there was lots of combat going off, lots of places you could get shot, lots of places to be careful. But one thing I noticed when I dropped into a 32-man server was it felt really empty because the map is absolutely huge. I then dropped into a 64-man server and it felt much better. So it makes me think perhaps 32-man servers will start to become redundant and we'll see a greater influx of people playing 64-man servers. I know a lot of people played them on Battlefield 3, but there was still a big following for the 32-man servers, and I don't think they quite fill out the map enough. But having said that, the 64-man servers still felt like quite an intense experience, but I did prefer Domination, and I played Domination a lot more, which is why the gameplay in the background is Domination. Now one difference I noticed between this and Battlefield 3 in terms of Domination, when you play Conquest on Battlefield 3, one good tactic, one way to play is to sort of pick an objective and try and defend that objective. It's not camping, it's you sort of patrol the area, keep moving and keep trying to keep that objective defended, because obviously that's in your incentive because you want to drain their tickets. So keeping a certain point is advantageous to you. Now on Conquest Domination on Battlefield 3, the maps were a lot smaller, so there was a lot more sort of run and gun, a lot of people running around, and you did sort of have to keep moving a lot more and run between objectives all the time. But one thing I like about Domination on this is the map is much bigger. It's a huge map for someone who's used to playing the small maps of Conquest Domination on Battlefield 3. So you can just pick a particular point, a place you feel comfortable defending, and try and defend that point. When I first played this beta, I found myself sort of in the habits of trying to sort of patrol a bit more, trying to run around the different objectives, and you just get picked off. It is a big emphasis on defending your objective, and if you want to attack a new objective, you really have to pick your moment. It's a very tactical experience. Another thing I noticed is the first thing I did when I got into this was crank up the field of view to the highest setting. Now when I did this on Battlefield 3, I noticed a slight change, but not too much. But on this, it does make an absolutely huge difference. In fact, I think this is the first time I've played a first-person shooter where I actually feel like I've got some sort of peripheral vision. The field of view really is excellent on this, so you've got a really good perspective of the battle that's going off ahead of you. Now in terms of running, this game runs really smoothly on my setup. When they released the recommended requirements, it did say a 3GB GPU, which had me wondering because I run a 1GB GPU, and I run that with an i5 processor at 3.4GHz and 8GB of RAM, 1600MHz. And this game actually still runs on high for me. I've not tried Ultra yet, but I ran on high and I was getting about 60 frames per second. So if you've got a 1GB graphics card and similar PC specs to me, and you're worried about whether or not you can run this is running extremely smoothly. Now I'm not sure if this is because my graphics card is an AMD and obviously Battlefield 4 is optimized for it, but it does run absolutely beautifully and it looks incredible. The graphics are absolute. To say this is a beta, the graphics are just absolutely fantastic. Now another good thing about a beta is it's the first chance for us to see Levolution in action. So we've got the toppling skyscraper on Conquest, but we've also got the little aspects which are extremely useful in Conquest Domination. You've got the shutters near the arcade, and you've also got things like the metal detectors around where Capture Point A is at the sort of store area. And you can really use these to your advantage, and it's really something that's quite essential to the beta and to the game itself. One thing I got from this beta is the fact you really have to use your environment around you, and really have to use the map and the different advantageous points of the map in order to stay alive. You can't just sort of rely on yourself to run around. You've got to stick with a team and use the new features, the new aspects of Levolution in ways that are going to benefit your team. Now another first thought was, Jesus Christ, this game is quite difficult. I joined the beta a few hours after it had started, and because it's only people who played Premium who are able to get the beta today, obviously it's the people who enjoyed Battlefield 3 enough to stick with it, buy premium content, and so they were in it for the long run, so they became really accomplished players on Battlefield 3. So it is quite a challenge at first. You really do have to adapt. It is like, you can't just expect to take your Battlefield 3 skills onto Battlefield 4 and instantly be able to transfer. It takes about 4 or 5 games to really get into it, but it's really worth it, and it's a really, really rewarding game. As soon as you start to feel yourself improving, you really do feel a sense of accomplishment, so it does give you that satisfaction. Now, for the people joining the beta in a few days' time, don't worry about the difficulty. Obviously, there'll be a lot more people joining, so there'll be a lot more people in the same position as you who played Battlefield 3 a bit, want to try the beta out, but are worried about joining it late. There'll be loads of people in that same boat. All I want to say is, if you've got the opportunity to get this beta, please, please, please do not turn it down. It is an absolutely fantastic and intense experience and a great taste for Battlefield 4, and just really, really emphasises just how special Battlefield 4 is going to be when it comes out. So in the meantime, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed my first thoughts. Please give me your first thoughts as well. Are you playing this? Are you enjoying it? And if you enjoyed the video, please do leave a like and feel free to subscribe to my channel. Every single subscriber is very much appreciated. And as always, you guys take care of yourselves, and I hope to see you all very soon.